Some people remain calm when urgency fills the room, not because they don't notice it, not because it doesn't reach them, but because their body doesn't follow the room's tempo. While voices rise, theirs stays level. While movements become sharp, theirs remain economical. While others rush to respond, they wait. They do not hurry their reactions. They do not escalate to match intensity. They do not compete with noise. Their calm does not announce itself. It simply remains. When something goes wrong, they pause first, not dramatically, just long enough for space to form. They listen before responding. They take in details without interrupting. They allow silence to exist without filling it. In moments that feel charged, they slow down. Their breathing stays even. Their posture doesn't tighten. Their voice does not carry urgency. They appear steady when others feel unsettled. They are often the last to speak, often the one who weighs words carefully, often the person who responds only after the room has emptied itself. They don't rush to reassure. They don't rush to fix. They don't rush to react. They are present, but not reactive. When plans fall apart, they adapt quietly. When emotions run high, they remain contained. When tension builds, they absorb it without showing strain. They are the person others turn to when things feel unstable, not because they demand authority, but because their steadiness creates it. They sit comfortably with discomfort. They tolerate uncertainty without agitation. They stay composed when outcomes are unclear. They don't flinch at conflict. They don't recoil from difficult conversations. They don't panic when control slips. They hold eye contact without intensity. They speak slowly, deliberately. They choose words that do not inflame the moment. Even in situations where reaction would be understandable, they stay measured. They rarely show visible frustration, rarely show emotional spikes, rarely show outward overwhelm. When they do speak, it often lands with weight. Not because it's forceful, but because it's grounded. Others describe them as unbothered, as calm under pressure, as hard to rattle. People say things like, "Nothing ever seems to get to you. You're always so composed. I wish I could stay that calm." They are trusted with responsibility, relied on in tense situations, expected to keep things from spiraling. They become the emotional anchor in groups, often without choosing the role. They absorb stress quietly. They carry intensity inward. They keep their internal state private. They do not make their emotions visible by default. They do not externalize distress easily. They do not broadcast inner turbulence. They may feel deeply, but it does not surface quickly. They let emotion settle before it moves. They wait until it has shape. They respond only when it no longer feels raw. They do not react first. They do not respond impulsively. They do not mirror chaos. They slow it. And because this steadiness is consistent, because it shows up again and again, it begins to look like temperament, as if calm were simply who they are. From the outside, consistent calm is almost always interpreted as comfort. People assume it means someone is not affected by what's happening. That stress passes over them without landing. That difficulty doesn't register the same way it does for others. Because calm is visible, it's treated as evidence. Evidence that the person is emotionally secure, that they are naturally balanced, that they simply don't struggle in the same way. Their steadiness becomes a story about ease. When tension rises and they don't react, it's read as confidence. When others vent and they stay quiet, it's read as emotional strength. When chaos unfolds and they remain composed, it's read as control. They are described as unshakable, as rock solid, as someone who always has it together. And because calm is admired, it is rarely questioned. People don't ask what it costs. They don't ask how it formed. They don't ask what happens beneath it. Instead, calm becomes expectation. They are relied on to stay level when others can't. They are expected to absorb stress without complaint. They are trusted to manage situations simply by being present. Over time, they are assigned the role of stabilizer, the one who listens, the one who mediates, the one who keeps things from escalating. And because they do not visibly struggle, their capacity is quietly overestimated. When they say they are tired, it's minimized. When they feel overwhelmed, it's unexpected. When they express frustration, it's surprising. You're always so calm. You never let things get to you. You're the strong one, as if calm were immunity. Sometimes their calm is interpreted as detachment. Because they don't mirror intensity, people assume they don't feel it. Because they don't react quickly, people assume they don't care. Because they stay measured, people assume emotional distance. If they don't escalate during conflict, they're seen as disengaged. If they don't show distress, they're seen as unaffected. If they don't emote outwardly, they're seen as closed. Their restraint is mistaken for lack of depth. Even empathy is misunderstood. They may feel deeply for others, but because they don't express it loudly, it goes unnoticed. They become the person no one checks on. The one assumed to be fine. The one assumed to be stable. The one assumed not to need support. And if their calm ever breaks, if emotion finally surfaces, it disrupts the narrative. People are startled. This isn't like you. You're usually so composed. What's wrong? As if calm were their natural state, as if deviation were failure, as if steadiness required no effort. Over time, this misunderstanding reinforces the pattern. They continue staying calm because it's expected. They continue containing emotion because it's unnoticed. They continue absorbing intensity because no one questions whether they should. Not because they want admiration, not because they seek control, but because the world has already decided. That calm is simply who they are, and rarely considers that calm may be something they learned, long before anyone started praising it. Being calm all the time is rarely the absence of feeling. More often, it is the presence of control learned early. For many people who appear consistently calm, emotion was never something that felt safe to release immediately. Not because it was forbidden, but because it was ineffective. They learned slowly, repeatedly, that reacting didn't improve outcomes, that showing intensity didn't stabilize situations, that expressing overwhelm often made things worse, not better. So the system adapted, not consciously, not deliberately, physiologically. They learned to slow themselves down before emotion could move outward, to pause long enough for intensity to lose its edge, to keep reactions contained until they were manageable. This pause became familiar. Over time, it became automatic. Emotion still arrived, sometimes powerfully, but it didn't rush to the surface. It went inward first. There it was, sorted, measured, held. Their calm is not suppression, it is sequencing. Feeling comes first, expression comes later, if at all. They learned that staying regulated gave them leverage. That composure allowed clarity. That calm prevented escalation. In environments where emotions were unpredictable or carried consequences, this mattered. They may have grown up around volatility, around adults whose moods shifted suddenly, around situations where reacting impulsively created risk. So calm became a form of vigilance, a way of staying oriented, a way of maintaining stability when the environment could not. For others, calm formed through responsibility. They were the one expected to stay steady, the one who didn't get to fall apart, the one who learned early that others depended on their composure. So they learned to hold themselves together, quietly. Their nervous system learned efficiency. Instead of rising sharply with emotion, it flattened peaks. Instead of releasing tension outward, it stored it inward. Not dramatically, not visibly, but consistently. This is why they can sit in emotionally charged rooms without reacting. Why they can listen to distress without mirroring it. Why they can stay present without absorbing chaos. They are not untouched, they are containing. Containment is a skill. It requires constant internal monitoring, constant regulation of breath, tone, posture, response. It is active, even when it looks passive. Their calm is not emptiness, it is density, emotion compressed rather than expanded, intensity organized rather than expressed. This internal organization creates a sense of control. As long as they stay calm, things feel manageable. As long as they stay steady, nothing tips too far. As long as they don't escalate, they can navigate complexity. So calm becomes identity, not because it's effortless, but because it works. Over time, this steadiness becomes familiar, comfortable, reliable, even soothing. Strong emotional expression can begin to feel unsafe, not because it's wrong, but because it threatens structure. So emotion is allowed, but only after it's shaped, only after it's quiet enough to live with, only after it no longer risks destabilizing the moment. From the outside, this looks like emotional ease. From the inside, it feels like careful management. They're not disconnected from feeling. They are deeply connected, but selectively expressive. Their calm is not the absence of intensity. It is the result of learning how to hold intensity without letting it spill. And that learning didn't come from nowhere. It came from experience, from moments where staying calm mattered, from environments where steadiness kept things intact, from repeated reinforcement that regulation was safer than reaction. So calm became their way of staying whole. Not because they don't feel, but because they do, and they learned how to carry it. You don't need to dismantle that steadiness for it to be valid. You don't need to prove that you feel deeply. You don't need to demonstrate intensity to be understood. You don't need to make your inner life visible to be real. Nothing is missing because your emotions move inward first. Nothing is broken because you regulate before you express. Your calm is not a lack. It is a way of staying intact. It is allowed that you pause instead of react. It is allowed that you process quietly. It is allowed that you hold more than you show. You are not cold for remaining composed. You are not detached for not escalating. You are not distant because you don't leak emotion into the room. You don't owe the world visible distress. You don't owe others emotional performance. You don't owe proof of care through intensity. You are allowed to exist without amplifying chaos. You are allowed to remain steady without explanation. You are allowed to let your regulation be enough. Quietly, without defense, without performance, and nothing needs to break for you to matter.